Tonight was the post-Royal Rumble episode of Monday Night Raw, so that means this was the first official Raw on the road to WrestleMania 38 on April 2nd and 3rd. Following his huge victory over Brock Lesnar on Saturday night, Bobby Lashley arrived at Raw to celebrate his second reign as WWE Champion alongside his loyal manager, MVP. Speaking of the Beast, after he lost to Lashley at the Royal Rumble, he entered the Men's Rumble match at number 30 and proceeded to win the whole thing. Tonight, he chose his opponent for WrestleMania. We also saw the return of Ronda Rousey during the Women's Rumble. Not only did she make a comeback, but she ended up winning the match. She showed up tonight to celebrate her win and let everyone know exactly how she feels. Let's take a look at everything that happened on tonight's episode of Raw, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and streaming.com. Today, I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by the Phenom, Michael Bullock. Unfortunately, due to work commitments beyond his control, good old MF Michael Fletcher will not be with us this evening, but he will be back with us Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem. Not much more to say. I mean, as is always, it was not the best Raw, of course, but it was definitely a newsworthy one. And without any further ado, let's dive on in. Monday Night Raw live tonight from the Heritage Bank Center in Cincinnati, Ohio, the home of the AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals. And we started it off with WWE official Adam Pearce in the ring, announcing that at the Elimination Chamber event in Saudi Arabia on February 19, Bobby Lashley will defend the WWE Championship inside that structure. Lashley and MVP came out. They were irate. That brought out Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar wanted his rematch tonight. MVP and Lashley said no. But Adam Pearce said, okay, Bobby deprived Cincinnati of a title match. Well, guess what? Brock Lesnar will be one of the 5 men to challenge inside the Elimination Chamber. So nothing more to say here. This was definitely one of the segments of the night. It was a hot opening segment with some major star power. Lashley and MVP drew good heat, and the fans really wanted to see Lesnar get his rematch. It's a big development that Lesnar teased that it will be champion versus champion at WrestleMania. That could explain why they are having the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship rather than the usual approach of having a chamber match for a shot at the championship at WrestleMania. But nonetheless, this was one of the segments of the night for sure. A great way to jump off this edition of Monday Night Raw. Wouldn't you agree, Michael Bullock, as I bring you on in? Coming off another one of our legendary Raw chats, and boy, what a way to start, huh?
Yeah, what a way to start it off. I mean, Adam Pearce announcing, like you said, that Bobby Lashley was going to defend the title inside the Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia. And yeah, no surprise, these two weren't happy about it, but Brock Lesnar came out and wanted his rematch, and both of them said, not going to happen. Back to the line. But Adam Pearce is like, you know what? You're going to deprive Cincinnati of a WWE title match? Guess what? I'm adding Brock Lesnar to that chamber match. So, yeah, Lesnar's going to get his chance, and you're right, Florio. They could be starting to tease that title for title match at Mania with Roman and Brock Lesnar, but will they actually pull the trigger on it? We'll find out. But nothing more to say. I mean, this was definitely a great way to start it off. So, Florio, let's move on.
All right, Bullock, you'll be starting off on the next relevant thing we have. Well, actually, this was pretty relevant. We had Rhea Ripley going one-on-one with Nikki ASH, and Rhea Ripley wins the match in 8 minutes and 10 seconds. So Bullock, your girl Rhea Ripley gets it done in 8:10.
Yeah, I thought this was a fine match to start off the matches portion. Obviously, they wanted to give Rhea the win here over Nikki ASH. after all the blindside attacks by Nikki ASH. So 2.5 stars is my rating on the match. So that's about as high as I can go with this one. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to add to it. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, this was a decent match, but this did not feel like the blow off to a feud like it should be. It felt like a random match on any other Monday. We have seen both Nikki and Ripley put on much better performances, and we have seen both women go to extremes at times, so it was clear they held back in this one. Knowing WWE, there is a good chance this feud is not over yet, so maybe their next encounter will up the intensity to levels both women can easily reach. 2.5 stars, I 100% agree. So with that being said, we move on. The Miz versus Dominic Mysterio. Miz wins the match in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And if you saw this match, oh boy, I mean, Miz intentionally, he tripped himself and whined to the referee and said that Ray did it. And the referee believed him. And Ray was ejected, and then moments later, Miz won the match. I mean, oh boy, we're not really gonna, we're not gonna waste our time on that. But short match, but it displayed why the Miz is a great heel. He knows exactly what his job is and does what he needs to do to make his opponents look like the hero. The dirty way he won is perfectly in line with his character, but it seems like this was more than just another random match. This could be the start of a feud between the Miz and the Mysterios. The bout wasn't anything special in terms of the in-ring action, but it opened the door for a potentially interesting storyline to develop. 1-star effort there. One of the worst fights of the night. So, moving on. Kevin Owens' show. Road to WrestleMania edition. His guest was Seth freaking Rollins. And Seth Rollins announces that Seth Rollins will be in the Elimination Chamber match. And it led into a qualifying match, Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory, and Austin Theory wins the match in 11 minutes and 25 seconds. All right, for the segment, it was a fun segment with Kevin Owens feeling slighted because he has to win a qualifying match, while Rollins was simply given a spot in the chamber match. No real change in the Rollins act, despite the fact that he was the babyface in the match against Roman Reigns. Of course, they could still make him the babyface, particularly if he and Owens split up soon. And as far as the match is concerned, I'm going to give this about 3.25 to 3.5. I mean, this was a fun performance that allowed both superstars to show off their complete sets of skills. We even saw Owens do a moonsault, and he barely ever breaks that move out anymore. Austin Theory winning was a bit surprising, but KO might have been a better choice for the chamber, since he clearly likes to take risks from time to time. With how well they work together, it would be easy to imagine WWE making this a feud at some point. They had a lot of chemistry here. So I'm going to give this about 3.25 to 3.5 stars. Good segment as well. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, Seth Rollins in the chamber match, and Austin Theory picks up the biggest win of his career, but could it lead to an even bigger win in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, 3.25 to 3.5. I agree with the rating. I mean, yeah, some people would say obviously Kevin Owens probably is the better choice to be in the Elimination Chamber, but maybe they're trying to give Austin Theory a chance. So, and maybe we need to start taking him seriously. I mean, I'm not saying we should, but maybe we need to with the way they've been making him lately. So, yeah, we'll wait and see, especially how he does. But it could lead to a much bigger win at Elimination Chamber. So, there's really nothing more to add to it. So, Florio, let's move on.
Yeah. And then from there, we had the hometown boy, Angelo Dawkins, squaring off against Dolph Ziggler. And Angelo Dawkins wins the match in 4.5 minutes. I really thought the Cincinnati crowd would be rowdier tonight, given that their Bengals just won the AFC Championship yesterday. There was a lot of Bengals gear in the crowd, and they weren't a bad crowd by any means, but it wasn't the big party atmosphere I thought it would be. But the match was fine. in that it gave the crowd a hometown guy to root for, but it didn't really play into any current storylines. So maybe like a 2-star effort there. Then we had the second leg of the academic challenge between the Alpha Academy and an RK Bro. Riddle and Chad Gable with the scooter race. It was a 50-lap race in the final lap. And it looked like Riddle was going to win it, but then Otis stuck his nose in it, and Chad Gable won it, so they evened the series. But then Gable was so angry that he said, "Riddle, you're going to face Otis." But Adam Pearce came out and upped the stakes. Otis versus Riddle would go on to become an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Winner of the match in 7 minutes and 25 seconds. Riddle is going to the Elimination Chamber. Michael Bullock, no question about it, the biggest win of Riddle's singles career. Could that lead to an even bigger win in Saudi Arabia? And he won. You know what that means.
Bro.
Sounds so lifelike.
Yeah,
How about it, man?
exactly.
The man, we saw the dirt sheet that came out and a certain someone's video on top of it that Riddle was originally supposed to win the Royal Rumble match. Maybe this was their way of making it up to him because of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this could be their way of making it up because, like you said, I mean, this man was originally supposed to win that Royal Rumble match, but this is their way of making it up to him. So, yeah, so I'll give this about 2.5 stars for this. I mean, it was a fine match, but Florio, think about it. Remember the past times Riddle's talked about facing Brock Lesnar? Well, he's got a chance to be in the ring with him. So
that's it.
All that talk about Brock Lesnar, well, he's got a chance to back it up. So we'll see how it all goes, but definitely the biggest win for Riddle. But could it lead to anything bigger at the Elimination Chamber? We'll find out. Florio, what's yours?
Otis is a great wrestler who hasn't been given enough chances to display his skills outside of tag team matches, especially in recent months. Sometimes it's just fun to watch a big dude knock the stuffing out of a smaller competitor. Otis hits hard and makes every move look good, which is impressive because a lot of guys his size don't move as well as he does. Riddle sold well for Otis and made him look like a beast for most of that match. But the bro ultimately ended up earning a spot in the chamber. And I got a big kick out of this match. Riddle sold really well for Otis's powerhouse antics before he came back and got the win. So big win for Riddle. He's in the chamber. And we'll leave it at that. Bianca Belair versus Carmella. Bianca Belair wins the match 5.5 minutes. And I think we can bypass this. I mean, nothing in this match looked especially bad, but Belair and Carmella do not appear to have much in-ring chemistry. There was just something off about this one. At times, it felt like both women were working at different paces, so it led to a few exchanges looking a little awkward. For some reason, commentary appeared to be all over the place during this as well. Nice clean win for Belair, but it didn't accomplish much in the grand scheme of things unless she gets a partner and goes after the women's tag titles. But I don't know. Probably another two-star or so effort there. Then we had the final qualifying match, the phenomenal AJ Styles versus Rey Mysterio. AJ Styles wins the match, 11 minutes and 35 seconds. There's no question about it. This was the fight of the night. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about this one. Good, clean match between two of the best high flyers to ever do it. While we all know they could have done even more with more time, they made the most of every minute without making this feel bloated with too many high spots. Styles' performance here should confirm his status as a babyface moving forward. He played to the crowd a bit, never cheated, and even shook Ray's hand before the bell. His run as a heel is officially over. With Styles earning the final spot in the Elimination Chamber, we now know who will be challenging Les Lashley for the WWE Championship on February 19. AJ Styles and Bobby Lashley will be joined by Riddle, Brock Lesnar, Austin Theory, and Seth Rollins. A fun match. The broadcast team really tried to sell it as a match between two legends, and while that's true, I wish the company booked them in a way befitting of their legendary status more consistently. But other than that, fight of the night for me, 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I mean, going in on our Raw chat, when we saw this, we knew going in they were going to steal the dang show, and guess what? They damn sure did.
Yeah, they certainly did steal the damn show. 3.5 stars is my rating for this. I mean, definitely the fight of the night, hands down. I mean, you knew these two were gonna steal the show, especially with an opportunity to be in the Elimination Chamber WWE title match, and now the field is all set. So I cannot wait to see what happens when all these competitors step inside the chamber to see who will walk into WrestleMania as the WWE champion. So 3.5 stars, fight of the night. Florio, let's move on to what would be the final segment of the night.
And what a way to cap it off. The winner of the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble match, Ronda Rousey. And, she talked about the possibility of facing Charlotte Flair or Rebecca, and said she didn't know if Rebecca deserved the recognition of facing her. And then lo and behold, here comes Becky Lynch, and Becky, called her Ronnie, little weirdo. Like, I mean, it felt like we were back in 2019 all over again, getting ready for WrestleMania 35. But it was basically Becky trying to goad Ronda into choosing her for WrestleMania. But Rousey grabbed Becky's arm and said, "Hey, you'll have my answer on Friday." And then Becky runs her mouth, and then all of a sudden, what? Lita shows up, and she challenges Becky to a match at the Elimination Chamber. Now, keep in mind, for what it's worth, it was never stated that the Raw Women's Championship will be on the line for this match. But Ronda Rousey was over with this crowd. Becky got more boos than usual. And, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say except Michael Bullock, I mean, whoa. I mean, Ronda said, "You'll have my answer on Friday," but what about the development at the end? Lita and Becky will square off at Elimination Chamber. The only thing is, we do not know if the title's on the line. Is it a title match, or is this just a straight up match, or a regular non-title match?
I thought I heard Byron Saxton saying at the end of the show that it was going to be for the Raw Women's title. So I think it has to be, because I mean, hello, you're going to Saudi Arabia, so, and let's not remember what Lita said on SmackDown, Florio. She had one more run in her, so they have to put the title on the line. So, but yeah, this to me was another good segment. This was a great way to close out the show. Ronda Rousey basically making both of those champions wait to give her the answer, and we're gonna find out Friday night, because Florio, for the first time ever, the rowdy one is gonna be on SmackDown. I mean, can you imagine the people at Fox right now? They're probably gushing at the thought of Ronda Rousey being on SmackDown Friday night, and it's gonna get very. Huh?
They want her. The Fox execs want her.
Well, they want her. They're gonna get her Friday night, so it's gonna be must see TV Friday night to see who the rowdy is gonna throw down with at WrestleMania. So, but man, Lita and Becky Lynch.
I just found it on WWE.com. It's official. It will be for the Raw Women's Championship. The title's on the line.
There you go. So, Lita has a chance to become a champion again. So, man, oh man, Lita and Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship.
Yep.
Man, I cannot wait for this. Flory, what's yours?
Yeah. Ronda Rousey was over with this crowd. Becky got more boos than usual. All indications are that Ronda Rousey will be challenging Charlotte Flair, and that's a good thing if they want Rousey to be cheered. I don't think they'll get the desired crowd reaction if they go with the other match, but I mean, it was a segment that happened. Rousey, she's never been the strongest on the mic, but it almost seemed like she regressed during her time away. She may have been trying to not act like a heel or a babyface, but it just made her seem like a little wooden in her delivery. Lita coming out definitely put the segment over the top. Hearing that she will face Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship at Elimination Chamber definitely made a lot of fans happy. And that's really all there is to say on that. So a great way to close the show. So overall thoughts here. I would probably give this an excess of 6.5 to 7 because of all the newsworthiness that happened. I mean, we bookended it with a great opening segment and a great closing segment. The qualifiers definitely took up a lot of time, which was great. Decent show. The Elimination Chamber qualifiers gave some matches some added purpose. And the usual mix of uneven segments with mostly solid in-ring work. Raw isn't always great, but the men and women of WWE usually try their best with what they are being given. And Styles and Mysterio, the fight of the night. Owens, in theory, a very close second. Had a couple of other good matches here and there, and some good segments along the way. So I'll give this between 6.5 to 7. So not really more to say on that. Michael Bullock, let's get your overall thoughts, and then I'll set up for my Tony's take as always.
Yeah, 6.5 to 7. Basically, because of all the newsworthy stuff that we heard tonight. So yeah, so you basically pretty much touched on everything. So let's get to your Tony's take, Florio.
Yep, and we started, of course, with Impact Wrestling from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and we started it off with Chris Bay versus Jake Something, and Jake Something wins the match 9 minutes and 22 seconds, 3 3/4 of a star. This match was awesome, and I didn't expect this result at all. One spot looked a bit goofy because Jake was unsure of it, but he looked awesome in this one. I heard his contract is ending soon, so I'm surprised he would go over Bay here. I like both of these guys, so I'm happy to see Jake win, but a bit confused, especially considering the post-match aftermath. Then an in-ring segment, Honor No More, the Ring of Honor. The Ring of Honor group. And yeah, it ended up being an interesting segment with Scott D'Amore, and laid out a challenge for Honor No More against Team Impact Wrestling for the Impact Plus show, and if the Impact team wins, Honor No More is gone, and they can no longer invade. But if Honor No More wins, then they can stay. So very interesting segment, to say the very least. The Influence, Madison Rayne and Caleb with a K in a mixed tag team match against the Inspiration. It was Caleb and Madison winning in 10:57, 2 1/4 stars. It wasn't bad, but I wasn't a fan of this match. I could do without Caleb working in a tag and maybe gone the traditional tag route. I'm glad the Inspiration won, but this doesn't make me any more excited for the match with the Influence in the future. It went a bit longer than I would have expected for what it was. Then it was that Knockouts Address with Mickie James, and she talked about the Royal Rumble, as I mentioned the other night, and Very good promo from Mickey as she went into the Rumble, and she said that if she had won the Rumble, that she would have wanted to, go after the champion of her choosing and have that match be for that title and the Knockouts title. That would have been great. I was glad that Impact was taking it seriously and sent her off with a majority of the Knockouts supporting her, but obviously that didn't happen. Obviously, Learning Tree versus W Morrissey. W Morrissey, it was a squash. Morrissey took care of everyone with ease. Commentary made everyone sound like geeks, and they were. But if he beats 8 nobodies, does it do much? Crowd did get behind him for that. Johnny Swinger against Jonah. Yeah, short squash here. And Dan Lambert showed up. I don't know what that was doing, if it indicates Jonah's going elsewhere or if he'll be involved more. God, I hope not. Main event was PCO versus Chris Sabin. PCO wins the match, 15 minutes, 48 seconds, 3 stars. Honor No More hit the ring to assault Sabin, but the Impact guys made the save. They send Honor No More to the outside, and Vincent almost runs into a cane shot, but instead Josh gets him in an ankle lock. Honor No More pull Vincent to the outside as Josh and the Impact regulars stand tall to close out the show. Good main event. It was genuinely exciting and pretty 50-50 in terms of who could win. I expected PCO to win, but I've been disappointed by booking before, so I wasn't sure what to expect. 7.5 out of 10. Solid show. Opener and main event were both really great matches, but the stuff in between was a bit meh. I think that there were just way too many segments for my liking in the middle. And some of the matches we got tonight were a bit lacking outside of the general solid matches we got to start and end the show. Good start to a new set of tapings in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So definitely a 7.5 out of 10 for me on that. And coming up this week on Impact Wrestling, that will air Thursday night at 8 p.m. over on Access TV, and also on the on YouTube as part of that Impact Wrestling Insider membership. Jay White, Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, and Chris Bay of the Bullet Club against Ace Austin, Madman Fulton, Speedball Bailey, and Jake Something in an 8-man tag. Jonathan Gresham, the Ring of Honor World Champion, versus Steve Macklin in a non-title match. And Jordan Grace will defend the Digital Media Championship against Matt Cardona. So we'll see all that on Thursday night. And with that being said, we'll now quickly get into 205 Live, and then we'll call it a night, obviously. All right, what do we got? We had Josh Briggs versus Damon Kemp. Josh Briggs wins the match in 5 minutes and 4 seconds. 1.5 stars. They hit each other hard. It was an okay Haas fight. Kemp needs more matches for experience and to see what they have with him. Amari Miller and Lash Legend against Valentina Faraz and Alyssa Leon. Faraz and Leon in 6 minutes and 29 seconds. The actual tag team won a match over partners that don't like each other. Much better than expected, as they used the tag formula that's worked for 70 years. It was fine, 2 stars. Then we had, Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy against Draco Anthony. And Joe Gacy in 5'10", 1.5. Not a fan of this one, as I'm not a fan of what I've seen from Gacy so far. Anthony has promised, but needs work, obviously. Just a match here. 5 out of 10, more of the same. But the tag match was a decent surprise this week. Overall, just another blah edition of what has become of 205 Live. So that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. We'll be back with you Wednesday night over on MF's channel, BraceFan 95, for another edition of Wednesday Night Mayhem, as we will review NXT 2.0 and AEW Dynamite as usual. Then Thursday, we got a loaded edition of Strictly Sports. We were going to address the Tom Brady retirement, but now there's been some rumors going around saying that it's not really official yet. So I think we might hold off on that until it becomes more official. So, but we will address Ben Roethlisberger's retirement. We will also address the coaching carousel in the NFL. We'll also address the NHL All-Star Game coming up. And maybe the Pro Bowl, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll get a quick early thought about Super Bowl 56, the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. And then we'll close it out with a retrospective of both Strictly Sports and the Wrestling Forum. Because as you know, the other night it marked 10 years to the day of our very first broadcast. And Thursday will be right around the date of our first Strictly Sports show. And this is our 10th anniversary. So we'll definitely share some of our favorite moments on both shows. A little retrospective, and we'll close it out with that. So that'll be on Thursday. And then Friday, Cerebral Smack Talk with MF on his channel, as we'll review Friday Night SmackDown and AEW Rampage as always. And then right back here for Ridiculously Raw next week. So that's it. So until Wednesday night, Wednesday Night Mayhem, over on the Max Channel Race 395. Till then, this is Anthony Florio here for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher, and the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night, on Wednesday Night Mayhem, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.